Today's date is one of those days that is very, very unusual in the Halley family, and I'd like to mention what happened at 6 o'clock on the 13th of November, 1993. And this happened while my wife was on her bicycle. Now, she looked at 30 seconds up in the air. The lights were like high beams of an auto. 10 lights. Two in front were bright lights, and they stayed still in the air. Anne did not see any bottom lights until she was directly under this object, which she thought was a flying saucer, or she thought it was an airplane. And Anne said the thing did not move towards her and pass overhead as aircraft always do from the Potts house to 260 Hearst Avenue. So it was Anne Mary Halley on a bicycle, and that was who. The what is a sighting of a stationary lights, 10 to 12 lights, about 250 Hearst Avenue, East Lansdowne, Pennsylvania. 250 is the house number. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning when 13 November 93, it was in darkness and for 10 to 20 seconds. And why was it? On the way to work, Anne was headed towards the Marlane Diner. Note, when the lights were overhead, there was no sound. When the lights departed, Anne heard engine noise when it departed. While under the lights, the eyes didn't squint due to the light. The speed of departure was not fast, but like an airplane would leave. Lights were in a square shape, but the lights prevented Anne from seeing the shape of the vehicle. The lights didn't lighten up the street. The height was about the height of two major power lines in the East Lansdowne area. So this was one of those things. Anne first saw the bright lights at McGuire's, which was only a few houses from our house, while bicycle was passing. She thought it was an airplane. Anne continued on Hearst until she passed under lights, and she got off bicycle at 260 Hearst Avenue, East Lansdowne, and she wondered why it didn't pass overhead like all the aircraft do. Anne was afraid and scared and looked at the lights for 10 to 20 seconds. It made a move in the direction of the airport. It was not a helicopter. It was grayish and shaped like a blimp. Anne got on bike and rode to work. Anne looked back once and the lights were gone, and she saw some grayish and no lights, and it was next to the schoolyard. The air traffic control from 937, telephone number 215, 937-6930, air traffic control. I called Federal Aviation. So anyway, that is documenting on tape what my wife saw. And when she went down to the Marlane Diner, and she told them what happened, they naturally all made fun of her, and they put pots on their heads and were walking around like space people, and it was just a big joke. So Anne never heard the last of her UFO sighting. So it's just to historically document what Anne saw, because I wrote it down so I would have a little bit of an idea. Now, Anne has been very, very truthful. She's been, I've known her for 35, 40 years, and Anne has been, when her yes is yes and her no is no. So that's the reason I wrote everything down. And do I believe that there was a UFO sighting? I believe Anne, and I believe that Anne saw something, and we're just logging in what was seen. And Anne is a very reliable witness.
I don't know what made you decide to do that.
All right, now that's my report. Now, Today's date is what, Ann?
The 2nd of December.
Today is the 2nd of December, 1997. So I was going through my drawer and I just came up with this, and I never really documented it and gave it any real notice, because everybody makes fun of you when you try to talk about flying saucers and things. Now, it must be noted that our street has a great number of aircraft that fly over it to the Southwest Philadelphia International Airport. So we are on the flight path, and we're probably we're under 5 miles from the airport at this spot on Hearst Avenue in East Lansdowne. So we are definitely on the straight route to the airport for their flight path. But standing still and no noise or anything like that, that's unusual. So I'm going to close out this report on the 2nd of December, 1997. It is a little late, but nevertheless, I wanted to tape it to make it for the record. Thank you. Well, true. Now she's with her friend on the next street, Sue Steffen, whose yes means yes and whose no means no. Anyway, Ann, would you proceed to talk about your encounter with an unidentified flying object? Now, tell us the background. You were on your way, etc. So just give us a little bit of background.
Okay, it was early Saturday morning at the end of November in 1994, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it was dark. It was like 5:30 in the morning. I was getting ready to go to the Marlene Diner. And I came down the driveway on my bike. When I went out on the street, I noticed all the way down there was a bright light in the sky. And
How far down? Whereabouts?
when I was at Feaser's here at 35
Okay.
Melrose, Hearst. And all the way down is like 200 block.
Okay.
Down past the playground.
All right.
Just looked like a plane that was coming, like two headlights in the sky.
And it was heading towards Baltimore Pike
Coming this
on
way.
Hearst Avenue.
So I just figured, oh well, it looks like, it was the only thing that was like sticking out at that time. Everything was pitch black. It was winter, dark morning. No moon or anything out. And so as I got down to like Peg's or the corner of the school here, I noticed the lights were still in the sky. And I thought, well, if that was a plane, it should be coming over me by now, because it should be going past me. And I thought, that's strange in my mind. So I kept going, and as I passed the playground, I got nervous because the lights were still up there, and I thought, that's not right, Then when I went down further where Mrs. O'Neill lived, I don't know if you know Mrs. O'Neill.
Past the playground?
Well, before you get to that guy Pat, Teresa Chambers' father.
Oh, yeah.
All right, about four houses down from him on the left.
On our side.
I got off of my bike, and I just got off of the bike because the lights were, I couldn't see the lights now in the front that I had seen. I just got off the bike, and I looked up, and they were all on the bottom.
And what were they shaped like? What pattern? Is it a square? Was it round? Was it a cigar shape?
I can't tell you what shape. All
How
you could
many?
see was lights.
How many?
About, I would say at least 20.
Were they bright like headlights where you couldn't
There weren't
see?
ones where the rays would, like you see in the movies with, what do you call that movie?
Oh, yeah, the third encounter, encounters of the third kind.
Yeah, and there's one that comes on every
down
weekend,
array.
the X-Files and
Uh-huh.
stuff. They're always showing spaceships and that too.
Well, what were these
But
lights
this-
like?
They were just white lights, like
Flashlights?
the camera here, but they were bigger.
Okay.
And there was no shape. They were just lights.
Okay.
You
But
know?
how big of a craft would you say it was? Was it big as a car, a van?
What size?
Could you see something over the lights?
No,
Just the lights.
just the lights. It was like the whole bottom of the whole thing had lights on it.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a helicopter.
But it wasn't like one light. There were, separate,
Yeah.
in grooves, like,
And did there make any noise? What sound?
Not a sound. That's the other weird. So I thought, I'm finished, this is it. So there was a light on a house, a little outlight.
Mm.
There was nothing. And I was going to just drop the bike and run to the house and start banging on the door. And something told me not to because they might be asleep and I wouldn't get them awake in time before they
Okay.
got me. Whoever was going to get me.
Now,
But
was
so
there shaking at all of the
nothing.
aircraft? No shaking?
No noise. No noise. No engine going. No movement of little humming it was just like it was in midair.
Mm.
Like a blimp is soundless. But this, I didn't have no shape.
Mm.
I didn't see any blimp.
But how many lights would you say there were?
15 to 20, in between
Lights.
lights.
And when you saw the lights, were they in a shape of something around, or what was it?
They were
like?
round.
The
The
lights
thing
were,
was round.
It was a
It
round
wasn't
object.
square. It wasn't oblong. It was round.
Okay. Continue.
I think I didn't see any aliens or anything like that. They just took one look at me and said that I wasn't what they wanted.
Was it raining? Was it wet?
No, it wasn't raining.
No wet, no nothing.
It was a dry.
And it stayed there for how long of a time?
Well, I didn't stay looking at it very
But
long. Ed.
give us an idea. 10 seconds, 15, half a minute?
I would say 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Now, I saw the light going down the road, up in the sky. So it had, but as far as me looking underneath and looking up, I did not stay there more than 10 seconds. I was a little bit afraid. So I had to hesitate to see what
Were
I was
you
going
off
to
the
do.
bicycle?
I was off the bike.
And you were looking while you were holding the
I
bicycle
was
straight
holding
up?
the bike. And I was going to just drop the bike and run to the house.
Okay.
But then I thought, they might not wake up. And then I'm going to make all this noise and disturb. Maybe the people up in that thing didn't know I was down there.
So what made you decide to just continue
Something told
down
me run
Hearst
for
Avenue?
it. Just run for it. I mean, it could have just popped
So,
right
so
down
you
and grabbed me.
ran with the bicycle at your side?
No, I got on the bike
And you pedaled fast?
and I just went fast.
And
And I
did you
looked
get-
back and I thought I saw, there was no lights, nothing there then,
Mm.
nothing. I thought I saw something gray off in the area. I don't know if it's my imagination.
Could it have
That,
been
like,
a
it
good
could
You
year
have been
look
blimp?
back, you mean?
I did look back towards the end and there's Smuckers.
Yeah.
And it looked like something very grayish, but it was way gone in the sky.
Could it have been the Goodyear blimp for a football game?
It was dark too.
Well, I have something to comment. I have heard of people with seeing sightings and seeing, something with lights and something in the sky. I don't believe anybody has ever seen people coming out of there. Now they've made movies and people's what they think aliens might look like,
Mm.
and then they arrive, and then sometimes they take them back into these
Mm-hmm.
crafts. But I don't believe, other than seeing something in the sky like you did with lights, that anyone has ever encountered an alien.
Now, how
Did you know?
high,
Do you know?
how high above you was this object? Was it like 50 feet up? Was it 100 feet up? Was it as tall as these towers out here on the tracks?
Yeah, a bit taller than the towers.
Taller than the towers? Okay, so that gives us an idea on the height then.
Well, do you have an answer to that? Were there ever anyone
I don't have a
ever
clue.
seen?
There have been people that said they were taken on spaceships. 2 men fishing down in like Louisiana. I mean, they totally.
And they returned them.
They did return them, yeah. But they were never really the same. They were like mental cases after it. Because they kind of like probed their... I'm just glad they didn't
So-
want me. If it was... You know what I really feel? I don't even feel like there was aliens. I feel the government is probably making crafts to make people think there is or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, these crafts, I mean, and I guess if a spaceship can go off on its own, probably.
And
these
it could
things-
be just to get a joke, to get,
No, don't do it. Leave it ring.
no, I have to, Ed, this is the third time.
Could be Ronnie or Johnny. I guess you think about that. But
Hello?
With Billy.
Where did Annie go? Oh, she's upstairs?
Anne Marie! Telephone.
It's Lisa.
It's
Listen,
Lisa.
Ed, Sue wants me to go to, see, Peg, so,
All
all
right.
we should run over and see her.
it should only
Okay,
be
get
for,
closer to Sue
I'd
so
say
you can
less
get the
than an
picture
hour.
in. Now, Ann, what is taking you so long to release this information and to make it public?
Because I don't want anyone to know about it. I don't want to be like Monica Lewinsky. They all
Okay.
come to my door and I can't even come in and out of my house.
Well,
I mean, it might be a different thing, but I want my peace, you know? I don't want this going to the newspapers, Ed.
Okay. Well, we'll try to keep this under wraps as long as we can.
The Marlin Diner heard about it when it happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right.
They all have information on it down there.
And what were they wearing on their heads at the Marlene
Well,
Diner?
Mark went in the kitchen and got a couple of calendars and big, huge pots that kind of,
Oh, with the,
the things
The
you drain
spiral?
things,
Yeah.
yeah. And he was walking around with them. And every time I went down on the weekend, we always get the same people that come every week. And they always ask, did you see any little green men this morning, Ann, on your bike coming down the road?
and you've never seen anything since then.
No. I was afraid to go in the dark mornings after that.
Right,
So that was around, what, 1995 or 96?
94.
94.
right. And
Wow.
after that, I knew that I had to get some change for that bicycle in case we had snow and didn't have to get through.
She could pedal
Yes.
faster.
I knew that
The
something
reason
was
that he
coming.
brought this back up is he was written in his drawer and he had written all the information
I had written
down.
everything down.
Everything, the date, the time, the month, everything. That's why we know it's 94. And
Oh,
he
because
really
Ed
did
writes
sit
things
down
down,
at the
yeah.
table and he wrote a whole big column of information from me.
Who, what, where, when, why,
Yeah.
how.
How. And so it kind of woke up something in his mind there. This happened about a few months, maybe 6 months ago, or what, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
3. And ever since then, he's been wanting to get a documentary on this
Sighting.
thing. But
So here it is
what
with your
difference
camera.
does it make? Then?
No, because
Well,
when the
I-
kids are 40 years from now view this tape, they'll say, yes, my mother did have a sighting. And it was on Hearst Avenue, down near past Codflesh, and this is what she saw, and we'll just listen.
Somebody was saying that maybe because of the towers, if it was anything unusual,
I-
it would get its energy from that.
Well, I believe that people have probably seen something like that and just don't come forward and say anything. Like they wouldn't even tell their husband, maybe.
Yeah.
They just would think, that's odd.
Well,
Yeah.
the stupidest thing I ever did was go to the diner and tell him. But I mean, I
You
was
were shaking up.
I was shaken up, you know.
Were you late?
Yeah, it was 6 o'clock. I used to like to get there about 4 to 6.
So you were a few minutes late then?
Yeah.
You don't think there was any time where you lost
Oh,
consciousness
now we're getting
between the 6:30, because it doesn't take from 5:30
I
to
never
6.
thought you would think of a time went by where maybe you thought they got me.
No, but Ann, we don't know. You said, that's why I asked this question. I want to have a detective's mind. I watch a lot of television, and that's one of the questions that they
And you look
ask.
like Matlock now, with the gray hair. Well,
And
maybe
So, since I watched all these things, and I used to like Alfred Hitchcock, so
Hitchcock
he
first,
loves
Perry
Hitchcock.
Mason,
that's
Yeah.
right. I
and
like
then
them.
Matlock.
So that's one of their questions that they would frequently ask. And I was wondering, what happened to the 15 minutes? Is there a time frame, like the 18 minutes at the White House tape with Nixon? You know, there was 18 minutes went by, and you didn't know what happened
Yeah.
on that tape. It was blank.
No, it was probably going towards the 4 to 6. By the time I got out of the backyard and down the driveway and rode down there, it was past, like maybe going past 5:30 when I came down along here.
Okay.
So it would take me, well, no more than 5 minutes really to go down the road.
All right.
Well, are you going to conclude this with the date and time?
Yes. In conclusion, Ann, we'd like to recap exactly what was discussed. You were on your way to work, and you saw the lights in the sky, and they remained motionless. They suspended. It was like a hover.
Yeah.
like a hovercraft, like a helicopter, but it didn't make any noise. So the who, it was a craft. The what, it was something you don't know. The weather was dark. It was 5:30, but it was dark, not clear. There wasn't a moon. It wasn't any bad weather with rain or any other weather condition. And you definitely know that it stopped and you heard no noise. So with that, you were terrified and you got off your bicycle, so you were in a standing position looking up. It was about higher than these towers where the power lines are behind our houses. And it was on the exact flight path that aircraft come down Hearst Avenue frequently to go to the airport. It was in the same direction that aircraft frequently go over the house. So this is a route for to get to the Southwest International Airport. So it's not a route that's not for aircraft. So we see plenty of airplanes. All right, that's all I have to say. And we say that we made history today by you putting it down, what you saw. You're a reliable witness. Your
Yeah.
yes means yes,
And the date
and your no
is-
means
And
no.
today is the 15th of February,
Right.
1998.
And I'm
the day
glad,
after Valentine's Day.
and I was glad that nothing happened to you because
Well, I never thought about what he just thought about. I just put my head together after all this time.
right,
You were thinking of a little time there where maybe I was not
Yeah.
accountable for.
yeah.
Maybe that's what happened to me.
And listen, if you put this information out 4 years ago, you may have turned up as an endangered species.
Okay,
so-
bye-bye.
Okay, let me turn up my shoes.